Well, good evening, everyone. Can you see me? At least you can hear me. Welcome to First Presbyterian Church here in Ennis, Texas, and thank you so very much for accepting our invitation. The first announcement is a service announcement. Of course, as always, I'm asking you kindly, please, 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 don't be ashamed to dig into your purse or reach into your pockets and turn these babies off. We don't want them to go them off, okay, during the concert, so let's eliminate that kind of a distraction. I also would like to announce that after the concert, in our Clark Hall, there are refreshments to be served, cookies and other goodies, so please stop by and you may have a chance to take a selfie with the musicians. I know that they would love to do that. Now, as the hustle and bustle of the holiday events and traditions and our duties compete for our time and our attention, I commend you all for coming here tonight and dedicate this hour to sacred music as we are keeping our focus on the very reason of the season, our Savior, the Lord Jesus Christ. Now, in that, we will get great help tonight from three distinguished musicians, our guests tonight. I was told to start with the ladies, so let's start with Anna Mae Gailey, who will play on bassoon. Yes, you can. A little encouragement. And a world traveler on harp, Gabby Logan. And their co-conspirator tonight is John Deal on organ. The floor is yours.
That's about as loud as we're going to get today. So that was by Bach, and when I put it on the program, I thought I would look up the actual title. That is the last movement of his Christmas oratorio. And I don't know what the deal is with Lutherans. I don't know what the deal is with Lutherans, but the actual title was, "Now Vengeance Hath Been Taken." And I'm like, well, Merry Christmas to you too. And so I was like, well, anyway, I can only imagine what Luther, Wesley, and a few other people would have been discussing in regards to the difference between Christmas carols. So anyway, the next thing we're going to do is Jesu Joy of Man's Desiring. And this almost didn't happen because my computer shut down 3 times while I was trying to finish it. So anyway, as you'll find out today, she's working hard. So Sarah has been trying to get me to play here for the last year, and she doesn't give up. So Sarah and I became friends. I'm the one that put the pipes in the organ. And thank you for buying it. So, no, I've been telling people we've never been busier. And, you know, I had a church give me another pipe organ. I get about 3 or 4 pipe organs a year. They give them to me, and I try to find homes for them. But we have never been so busy putting new ones in all the time. And boy, this one turned out great. So, anyway. So, I play at a place called Stonebriar Community Church, which y'all read, and I learned real fast as a church organist, I've always played by myself. And, well, these are 2 of the nicest people you'd ever hope to meet, and Stonebriar is full of musicians. They're the nicest people you'd ever hope to meet. And so I just drag them along everywhere I go now. So, but I'm dead serious. It is... we have a pastor who revels in the excellence of others, and that is a rare trait. So you have that too. You're a very nice man. So, but it's quite something to work with these people like this. That being said, when I said, you know, I have to tune about 90 organs between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and so this is not a lot of hard stuff. And so that means y'all have to sing, okay? So this is just going to be a Christmas evening tonight where we're going to sing carols and listen to these 2 beautiful ladies, and we're just going to have a good time like that. So if you'll stand up, we'll do O Come, Emmanuel. So, and if you can sound like the Baptist, I'd greatly appreciate it. So. Thank y'all. We should have gone over the hymns before we did this. I have never seen that arrangement before. So, anyway. Have y'all heard Carol of the Bells before? How many of you heard Carol of the Bells? Okay. So, y'all know where it's from? It's a Ukrainian Christmas. So, I didn't know that till today. The director of the orchestra at our church is the head of Frisco Fine Arts, Frisco Independent School District's Fine Arts. And he said that today was the 30th time he had heard Carol of the Bells since Thanksgiving. And so I said, well, I'm glad that I could help out with that. What I'm going to do is just play through this organ, just sort of doodling on that tune in the distance. And we're going to do a whole thing. I'm sorry, that sound just freaked me out because I kept freaking out. Y'all get to sing again. Hark the Herald. And this time I know the hymn. The next piece, Lule, Lule, is one of my favorite carols of all. But it's not necessarily what you think it is. It is a lullaby. But it is not a lullaby for Jesus. This is a 16th century, comes from a liturgical drama from Coventry. It was called the Coventry Carol because it was done in the cathedral there as a liturgical drama. And one of the episodes of the drama dealt with the children left behind when Jesus went to Egypt. And this is a lullaby for the children that Herod slaughtered. And it's called the Massacre of the Innocent. So the first verse tells you about the situation and the fact that these children were born at the same time as Christ. The second verse, you're going to hear the older sisters sneaking around trying to hide the children. The third verse starts Herod the king in his raging and for the children to slay. And you can hear the horn calls of the warning. And then it ends sort of melancholy after we know what happened. So, now, I've heard all sorts of numbers, but I do know this. Bethlehem was about 300 people at that time. About 2,000 years ago, Bethlehem had about 300 people. And so the average number of boy children at that time was 7 to 8. There'd be 7 or 8 children. But as it's found, it says in Luke, right? Yeah, Matthew, yeah. So anyway, so this is a lullaby to them, and it's one of my favorites. So. Do y'all remember Lassie? That TV show Lassie? Well, that used to, this was the tune they had on Lassie. And I always loved Lassie just because of this tune. Didn't really care for the dog, but anyway. So let's sing What Child Is This? Back in 1985, Hallmark, you know the Christmas card people? Hallmark made those, came out with these recordings, Christmas recordings. And you'd go in and buy a cassette. Y'all remember those? Oh, you have the pencil. If you have a pencil, then you can rewind a cassette. Well, my favorite cassette was the Christmas album that Hallmark put out, and it had one of those three tenors, I can't remember which one, and he was singing I Wonder as I Wonder. And I had never heard the song before. And so I Wonder as I Wonder was written by a man by the name of John Jacob Niles after hearing an individual stand on a rumble seat of a Model A. Y'all remember the back used to fold down and you could put a trunk on it? And evidently he was going through a town and this lady was singing this song of just wondering about Jesus. And he took it and actually wrote it into this song. And a lot of people always considered it a spiritual from like the 1800s. But in fact, it was written in 1933. And it talks about just wondering about the things of Jesus' birth. And anyway, the pianist at our church is a soprano, and she's singing it this Sunday, and I reduced it for the three of us. So anyway, except for Oh Holy Night, the things that we're doing together, this is the first time they've ever been done. So anyway, but this is I Wonder as I Wonder. Oh, we're coming up 5 minutes short. Oh. So my mother is the secretary of the church that I grew up in. I grew up at First Baptist Church in Gainesville. And y'all know where Gainesville is? Yeah. We stand guard at the Oklahoma border. So. Anyway, but you may not know this. Is Mr. Bradshaw here? No. He just had surgery. Well, tell him hello. Oh, okay. Anyway, I will never forget. I walked in this building, and the first thing I said to Mr. Bradshaw was, "How many miles does this church have on it?" And he looked at me like, "How did you know?" This building wasn't built here. It was built in Abilene. And I said, the reason why I know is because Westminster Presbyterian in Gainesville looks just like this church. The same superstructure. This was the chapel, or at Westminster Presbyterian is the chapel for Camp Howells, which consumed the entire northwest corner of Cook County during World War II. And this chapel was in Abilene during World War II. And after the war was over with, they had to sell these chapels. And so the one in Gainesville only has 20 miles on it. Y'all's has over 200. So at any rate, so I grew up in this little town called Gainesville. She was born in the same place. And her father is a father. Her father's a priest in the Episcopal Church. So we call him Father Flat Top because he had a Marine. At any rate, but my mother at First Baptist Gainesville always said, never play longer than 55 minutes. And I said, why? And she goes, you want them to come back next time, right? Because if you go for 2 hours, they'll be sitting there, they'll be putting their Sunday clothes back on going, this is going to be 2 hours long. And so if you want them to come back, never go over 55 minutes. And so she was right. So at any rate, I want you to know I really appreciate this church. I appreciate Sarah and the pastor for having us here. And I love playing this little thing. This is quite nice. And y'all sing really well. How many of y'all are actually members here? Okay. And so do we have any Methodists in here? Mm-hmm. I thought somebody was slowing the hymns down. And then, oh yeah. Got any Lutherans? Oh, great. Baptist? Oh, wow. Yeah, there we go. Mm-hmm. Now you're saying disciple of Christ. Anyway, so. At any rate, thank y'all for having us. And what we're going to do is we're going to do Silent Night together. And all three of us are going to play the first verse. And then Gabby and I are going to do the second verse. And then Gabby's going to do the last verse by herself. And so y'all know the story of Silent Night and the organ? So Franz Gruber wrote this song, this hymn in 1812. So it turned 200, so it's 211 years old now. And, no, was it 1818? Is it 1818? When is it? 1818, right, okay. Yeah, it just turned 200, yeah. So, anyway, so they went in to sing it, and a rat had eaten the bellows in the organ. So the organ goes, and so there was no organ. And so it was first played on a guitar. I mean, they were doing contemporary music way back then, I guess. Well, anyway, she's the closest thing to it. So when we sing the last verse, it's going to be more along the lines of, so Stille Nacht, Heilige Nacht, Silent Night, Holy Night. So thank you all for having us again, and sing this as respectfully as you possibly can. Thank you.
Have a joy-filled Merry Christmas, you all. Let's say a big thank you again to Ann Gailey, Gabby Logan, and John Deal. Merry Christmas. If you are not in an awful hurry, please come down to the Clark Hall. Have a good night.